what's up guys, this is Feeds, back with another video. We're going to talk a little bit today about some of the stuff that's happened since the 1.9 debacle that has ruined and destroyed people's opinions about Plarium. We'll talk a little bit about some of the commentary. We won't show the comments that they said specifically that I'll be referencing in this video, but if you want, I'll put a link below in the description. So today we're going to talk about the new fusion hero that is now permanent legendary that you can get. So if you are a person with bad RNG, if you're a person who does not get the luck of the draw, if you're a person who just has pulled and spent numerous dollars on this game and haven't found a single useful character, well, that's unfortunate. But now you have an opportunity to never feel that way anymore. So Raisin Scarhide is the new fusion, and we'll talk a little bit kind of how to do his fusion. We'll talk a little bit about the specifics on his stats, all that stuff, and we're going to get into the nitty-gritty of it. This is not a gearing video for him. I will show you how I have mine currently geared, but this is not a video that will tell you exactly how I intend to gear him down the road because he is not complete yet. So we'll jump right into it. So Raisin Scarhide is a lizardman. He's a defense character. The artwork on him is incredibly impressive, and they did a lot of really good work with him. Has the red spikes to it, knife in the back, so if he ever drops the spear for whatever reason, he can cut people up. And then of course he just looks like a beastly guy, red eyes and everything. Looks like he might have some eyelashes there, so he goes to the salon every now and then. Got his toes did as well, so he definitely prepared for the party and to kill all in one bite. And then of course his long neck, so you know he likes to party. So we'll talk a little bit about his A1. His A1 is actually probably one of his most, not overrated or underrated, but one of his most significant abilities, mainly because he can do it every time. But because it's a three swing attack, which means it hits 3 times, has 20% chance of removing one random buff from the target, and of course with the fully upgraded version, you're talking another 25%, so you have 45% chance of removing one random buff. This is good in dungeons because you can go Magic Keep, Ice Golem, Fire Knight, a variety of those teams, and you can do a lot of different damage with them, in addition to an arena where you can remove buffs like Continuous Heal, Counterattack, Shields, Block debuffs, the whole works, which makes it really good when coming to this. It's actually one of his strongest attributes, and because if you can get his speed up or get him into an area where he attacks frequently, it makes him really dangerous in the long run when it comes to it. His A2 is actually really good for a lot of different reasons. More specifically those because you can get it down to 3 turn where you can decrease defense, and of course you can have his weakened debuffs. This is of course the ascended version of it. Before you ascend him 3 stars, you don't get the weakened version of it when it comes to. But of course, if you fully max it out every 3 turns, you can get a 75% decreased defense, and at 100%, and then of course 25% weakened debuff on it for 2 turns, which means you minimize the amount of damage that gets done, as well as increase the damage that the potential target takes from it, which is really good. And then of course Bogged Down attacks all enemies, decreases turn speed by 100%. For those of you who don't know, this is an incredible ability in Arena. It's one of those abilities that where if you can get this off in a rotation, especially when they're at full rotation, denying the other team a full round can effectively determine that they lose or win a game pretty quickly when it goes to that. So Bogged Down is an incredibly strong ability in Arena. Also works on Spider, also works in other different areas too. So if this is an early game fusion for you or a late game fusion for you, whether you're in campaign, dungeons, whatever it is, this ability rocks. And then of course his Aura increases ally resist in the arena by 90. This is really good. A lot of the metas right now don't run resist because they run pure speed, crit damage, or something of the sort, or the combination. So you don't see a lot of this going on. What that means for you is if you happen to make this guy your leader, you've got an additional 90 resist, which offsets a lot of the accuracy that people have already, which means in instances where there's taunt, freeze debuffs, things like that, you don't have to actually worry about that stuff going on to it. So makes it incredibly good when it comes to that stuff. The other part of it too is of course his HP, his base stats. His attack and defense are actually pretty well rounded for what they are. His HP is a little bit low for being a defense hero. The really only big issue to this character is his speed. He has one of the lowest base speeds in the game for a legendary hero, which means that ultimately if you do play him in the arena, you're going to have to do sets that kind of cater around that setup, which try and complement his speed, or lack thereof of speed when it comes to it. And then of course crit rate and crit damage are base stats for a defense character on it. So we'll go over to the fusion now. We'll talk a little bit about this. It's actually really cool that Plarium made mention of all the concerns that we had about their 1.9 release and about the fully fusion. They did listen, and of course they made this one almost too easy when it comes to it, I feel like, because of all the accessibility that you have with these heroes. As you can see, I've got a lot of stuff in the vault, but I still managed to have a lot of these heroes available. You'll see a lot of these heroes pop up in shards, green shards or blue shards, which means it's incredibly easy to farm for you, especially during a summoning event when you have that stuff. But a fair amount of these heroes can come from dungeons as well, or dungeons campaigns as well. So you can unlock a lot of these characters just by doing the campaign, and naturally you'll end up finding a lot of these characters without a lot of effort that goes into it. Now, if you try and target farm certain things, obviously it's a little bit more frustrating, as you notice with the Relic Keeper fusion, where people had a huge issue getting the Executioner to drop, or the Templar, or things like that. In this instance, you'll find it a little bit more naturally. But for the overall requirement, it's not that bad when it comes to it, especially because a lot of the epics that you get by fusing these characters, one, you can get those characters as food, two, you can get those characters to help you get upgraded, and three, more than anything else, is they're all pretty low tier characters, with the exception of Lich, who's actually pretty good. But these other ones, they're not super high rated, so you're not going to lose a lot by upgrading it. And then of course, what you end up getting is a far superior hero that comes to it. So makes it incredibly good, convenient when it comes to it. Hopefully this isn't the last fusion that they released. They had mentioned, or made mention of, potentially having more than one fusion being released. Maybe the Foley plus this one, or maybe more fusions in the future, like the seasonal ones that they did for like Sir Nicholas and Shamrock. But we'll see kind of how it goes. But overall, this is a good start for Player Aim in regards to trying to appeal to their player base a little bit more. Means we'll invest a little bit more time in it. We'll focus on the things that are important, and of course, overall, we'll try and nail down the stuff that we like the most and the stuff that we don't like the most. Now, in doing this and trying to get this fusion, there's a lot of effective ways you can do it. What I would highly recommend is, especially if you're an early player, it's okay to sacrifice a lot to try and get this character. I'll tell you that right now. If you happen to come across these heroes, make sure you get them geared up and suited up properly so you can get this done quickly. They are by far way easier to get than getting this character. This character particularly, too, if you decided to get more than one, makes it convenient because if you had two on your team, there's a lot of different combinations you can run, wombo combos and stuff like that. But there's the sky's kind of limit on how you can kind of build your teams. And this hero is one of the strongest legendaries that you could have accessible early on. So if you happen to get him early game, it puts you in a really good spot overall, because you can combo him with effectively any team out there, whether it be a Cold Heart team, Apothecary team, whatever it is that you decide to go for. So that's it, guys. That'll be all for this video. I appreciate everyone stopping by and taking a look at it. We've had a lot of support lately, and I just want to thank everyone who stopped by and watched the videos, who's hit the like buttons and who's hit the subscribe buttons. It means a lot to me. It gives me that opportunity to make more videos and kind of empowers me to do more stuff with it. I will be doing a build video for Raisin Scarhide soon, and I will be doing a build video for Foley soon. I did want to try and get them a little bit more masteries under Minotaur first before I did that. I also wanted to try a couple different builds before I finally decided on what I wanted to focus on most of those guys, but I will be doing that. So if you guys liked it, go ahead and hit the thumbs up. If you guys loved the video or had comments, concerns, questions, go ahead and leave a comment below. And if you thought it was worth following, go ahead and hit the subscribe button up top and wait for all my next content to come out. So again, guys, appreciate it. You guys keep summoning, and we'll see if we can make something happen. Bye-bye.
It's going to be a left click. It's going to be a left click.
Yeah! Yeah!